What's up, my YouTube fam? All right, so trying to sharpen out the issues with this Socom Elite, the one that I tested and broke. You already know, but I'm gonna show you again. I broke the tip off. I've already kind of messed around with the tip. Where's the camera? Jeez Louise. I've already kind of messed around with it just a little bit to see how soft it was and how easy it was gonna be. So I knew kind of how long I was gonna need to do this. So I've already started kind of messing around there. I haven't really done anything with the big chip here or the scarring on the Tonto section. But this is not extremely severe damage. This is something that you may encounter just working with your Socom. You're messing around at work, you're trying to you're trying to pry something open or whatever, and you pop the tip off. That is the point of this video and these clips, and it may end up being 2 videos, I'm not sure, but that's the point of this, is to show guys that even if you make a mistake with your knife and you end up screwing something up, it's fixable. Like a big chip in the edge. That's probably the most common thing that happens is somebody's cutting through a box and they hit a big staple, or they drop their knife, or whatever. You let somebody else use it, they put a big chip in it. Whatever happens, man, you're whittling some sticks, messing around with the kids or something, and you end up chipping your knife. It happens to all of us. So the thing that I've seen more recently is dudes, and it's always happened, but it seems to be more recently, dudes are carrying around 2 knives every day. They carry around a show knife that they want to let everybody take a peek at, and I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I'm carrying around this Sleesh Bowie, which surprisingly enough is my user knife, the one I'm actually putting to work. And then I was carrying my Microtech Ultratech Spartan that my buddy Scott gave me, and so that I'm guilty of it too, carrying 2 knives, one to use and one to fiddle with. But guys are so afraid to use their knives to the point to where you'll see dudes post up pictures on Instagram going, I've had this beauty for 7 years and it won't even have a freaking fingerprint on it. And you're like, geez, man, you spent all that money on a knife that you're not ever going to cut anything with. And it just kind of seems sad. Now we do have people, got friends that buy, nice custom knives like a Cuminous Edge. And those aren't really, in my opinion, they're not really designed to be used as much. So I kind of understand that. From that standpoint, there's a difference in a production knife and a custom knife. Custom knives, you're not really going to be taking those out and beating on them. But the point of this video series, man, or I don't know if it's going to be a series yet, but the point of this video is, and we kind of had planned that, after I got done doing the damage to this knife, I wanted to be able to get it back to a usable knife, something that I would feel comfortable throwing in my pocket, carrying, and knowing that it would do anything I needed it to do. And that includes a sharp tip for piercing, a nice edge for cutting with no drag, no big scars in it, and a nice Tonto for those cuts too that you like. People like having that Tonto edge for those types of draw cuts where you can use that Tonto. It's a wonderful blade shape. So I'm gonna fix it. So I am on the course plate right now. This is a DMT extra course. I'm sorry. This is a, let's see if I can get it in frame here. Yeah, it's a DMT extra coarse diamond plate. It is extremely coarse, or actually it is extra coarse. So got a few other little play pretties out here. I don't know if some of you guys may not have seen this yet. Check this out. One of my buddies did this for me the other day. He's got a laser engraver, and that thing is super freaking cool. He laser engraved Bama knife guy in the spine of this Factor Equipment Iconic for me. I thought that was so freaking cool of him. He also made me this Bama knife guy brace. So basically what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna bring, get up here, make sure I'm in frame. So I'm going to bring the spine down to meet the edge. I'm not going to bring the edge up to the spine. I've already messed around with it a little bit, but we got a nice broken tip there. I'm going to come down this slope, and then I'm going to kick it there and come down again. So that should give us what we need to get us a tip back, and then we'll start working on this. Probably gonna work on that tomorrow. You'll probably see that in the daylight. So anyway, I'm gonna work on this just a little bit. I'll probably speed this footage up so you guys aren't just sitting here having to stare at me while you're listening. So I'll show you a little bit of that, and then we'll move on to something else. Let's see here. And when I'm doing this, you don't have to apply really any pressure. I mean, the knife, just the weight of the knife on the diamond plate is going to do the work. The diamonds are going to do their job. You know, you don't have to overwork yourself. You don't have to push into it. You really don't. I mean, you can let the diamonds do the work. There's no need for you to break a sweat doing this. If you break a sweat reprofiling a knife, you're doing it wrong. You need to let the diamonds do the work, man. That's what they're for. It's an effortless thing, and you'd be so surprised at how quick on an extra course or something like that, how quick you can get to where you're trying to go. I mean, it takes very little time. You know what, this first part, just getting it down there to it, I may play this in real time just to show you guys how long it takes. It's not long. It really does not take long. I may let this roll in real time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're almost there now. Yeah, we are there. So that's it. I got it down there, as you can see. Now we've got a nice, get that to focus. Now we've got a nice fine tip again. And of course, that's not the end of that. I'm gonna clean that up. But as you can see, it now drops from there down to this point, and then it goes nice down to a nice fine tip right there, and that is plenty for piercing. I mean, that is very sharp. I am still going to refine that. I'm going to actually decrease that angle just a little bit more. I'm probably going to end up going down to probably there and bringing it down, cutting off a little bit more of that, and bringing it down to, let's see, probably like that, and just get a nice point there. And I may end up bringing, depending on how it looks and how happy I am with it, I may change the angle of the front edge here, but I'd really like not to. I'd like to try to keep that part the same and only change this up here, go from that angle to drop down and have a hard corner there. And that's probably what I'm gonna do, but I may, if I have to get the nice fine tip I want, I may change something. But I mean, it's pretty dang fine already. It's plenty. I mean, and you guys saw what it looked like. This is just a few minutes of work. I mean, it does not take long. That's what I was trying, the point that I'm trying to prove with all of this is that it does not take long to fix your knife. If you have the patience, and this is taking no skill. I don't have any experience and any skill with reprofiling tips on Socoms. This is my very first time doing this. I've really only reprofiled just a few knives as far as broken tips. I've only done just a few at all. I mean, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 redoing the tips on knives. It's not something I do a lot. So it's not like I've got this technique that I use to do this where you guys can't do it. I mean, this is standard, you know, crap right here. This is not something special. So that's the whole point of this, man. I get sick of seeing videos online. I won't name any names, but some of you guys are already gonna know. I mean, I get tired of seeing videos online where dudes want to try to, it's almost like they're trying to brag, man, like when they sharpen a knife. They make it seem like that it's some sort of a talent that they, you know, that they were born with and no one else can do it. Great minds think alike, Mr. Hill. So anyway, I do it the exact same way he does. I take my normal sharpening angle that I would normally sharpen at, and I raise it about half. Not 90, not my sharpening angle, but about in between, about a 45. And I just pass it on that stone until I get my chips out. Very, very easy. You're not risking damaging anything, because if you do, you can fix it. So let's start on that a little bit. And like I was talking about with the tip, you don't have to overwork yourself. You don't have to break a sweat doing this. This is super easy to do, especially if you're using diamond. There is no right or wrong way to do this. And trying to hold an angle right here is not important. You're not trying to form a bevel. You're not trying to do anything special right here. All you are doing is just taking away material. You don't have to worry about if your angle is off. You don't have to, if your angle fluctuates, which it will if you're making big long passes like I am, you don't have to worry about what your angle is. You don't have to worry about really anything. All you're doing is removing material. That's it. Let's get this done. It's almost gone now. Getting there. What started out as a big chip just 60 seconds ago is now just a little bitty chip right there. Need not do that over my beer. I don't really want to be drinking M390. Yeah, look at this side. It's nearly gone. You can still see just a little bit right there. But it is not nearly gone already. So. Almost gone. Another good thing we're doing here is we're removing fatigued steel. If there was any fatigued steel on this edge, which almost all production knives have, then by doing this, man, we're cutting down and we're getting rid of all that fatigued steel. I guarantee you that the edge life on this knife is going to improve by 50%. Almost. that edge damage is completely gone. Reprofile's done, man. I just got to put a nice edge on it now. The chips are completely gone. It is smooth as silk. Obviously it's dull right now because of the freaking angle I had it out was like this. So, but all the chips are gone. The damage up front's gone. The tip is redone. And I have literally spent maybe 10 minutes, maybe. I'm gonna jump over to this extra course right quick and I'm gonna set my bevel, which is gonna be about 15 degrees, which for everyone doing freehand is gonna be a little bit different, how you hold your body and everything. But for me, my 15-degree posture is, you know, pretty good. So I know about where I need to be, even though I don't have a bevel to work off of right now. I have no bevel. I mean, this is dull as hell just about. I mean, I stood it almost straight up when I was doing my cutting and getting rid of those scars, I mean the chips. So I'm gonna set it around 15 and I'm just gonna set me a bevel. That looks pretty good. Jump over to the other side right quick. Alright, so I've moved over to the coarse stone. I'm just kind of finishing laying those bevels in. I got most of the bevels done with the extra coarse. And now I'm just kind of refining those bevels and just making sure everything looks all right. And there's going to be some things that I'm probably going to have to you know, kind of work out a little at a time, because we had some big chips, so we went kind of deep up into the primary grind here. But for the most part, man, everything's looking really good. We've got a nice crisp edge, about 15 degrees per side, that's going on here. It's feeling good, looking good. Everything's looking nice. See if I can get you a shot of that edge there. There you go. That Tonto's got a crisp edge on it. Got some crazy differences in the bevel width right here at the Tonto. You have a line that comes down right there where it widens and thickens right there, and we've gotten up into that thicker stuff now. So we're more narrow here than we are there, and we're more narrow here than we are there. So it's gonna make it look a little weird, but I should be able to get all that out and get it, for the most part, get it looking right. But it's coming together, man. I mean, it was a very, very effortless process. It didn't take much at all to get this thing looking good and get it usable. I love the way that tip turned out. And all in all, I'm just pleased with it. So, see if I can get you a couple close-ups here. Everything's looking right. So we're gonna finish sharpening this thing up. We laid the bevels in with the extra coarse, and then we went back with our coarse right here and just kind of worked on them a little bit and just kind of refined the bevels a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do right now, is just finish refining. So it's very easy to do. All we're doing is I'm just refining that angle, just refining that scratch pattern, just getting everything looking like I want it to look. We're roughly at about a 15-degree angle. It looks like the grind on this thing's kind of a little bit funky right there where that Tonto meets. It gets thick, and when we were way out here, you know, before we removed all that material, it got super thin everywhere. But now once it gets a little thicker up here, it makes the grind a little bit different right there at that break. You can kind of see how it changes right there. But there again, that is simply aesthetics. I am not worried about that in the least. Right now, we've got the bevels laid in. We've pretty much got them refined. Got everything looking like we want it. I mean, it is crispy sharp too. I mean, it is extremely sharp. It is not much time at all. Very, very little time. And I'm telling you guys, it is, majority of it has to do with, some of it's your technique, but a lot of it has to do with the media that you're using to cut the steel. And these DMT diamond plates, man, I cannot tell you enough how great they are and how easy they make things when you're trying to cut steel. As far as I'm concerned, you don't need nothing more than this. I mean, these things really, really get the job done. It's a fantastic, fantastic product. I have zero complaints when it comes to these DMT plates. Zero. There's, you know, with most stones or plates or whatever, you can find something that you don't like about them or something to complain about. With these, I have nothing to complain about. I mean, and that's being real. You know, most people are going to say, oh, whatever, you could find something you don't like about it, but it's not a DMT plate. It's not like a, you know, like a knife where you can find things that don't fit you or don't whatever. These plates are made to do one thing and one thing only, and that is cut steel. And they do that task flawlessly. So I can't find anything that I don't like about them. They get the job freaking done, man. So I'm not going to say anything negative about them. They rock, as far as I'm concerned. They get the freaking job done. So you see what I do there? I lay it down. All right, I lay my knife down, and then I kick it up, and I kill that shadow. Same thing on this side. Let's see if I can find a spot where you can see that. I kick it up, and I kill that shadow. You can see that shadow. Let's see, on the back side right there under the edge, and I just kick it up, and I kill it. And when you kill that shadow, you're on your bevel. You're right where you need to be. All right, man, so we're done. I'm gonna skip that 3 micron on wood, and I'm gonna go to 1 micron on leather here, and I'm just gonna make just a few passes, and all I'm doing is I've got my knife kicked up to my angle, and I'm just pushing away at kind of a 45, okay? I'm not going straight up, I'm not going straight this way, even though you can. I tend to do an angle like this. And I do that with just about everything, and there's a reason for that other than that's just what feels comfortable. You actually are forming little scratches in the steel. Even though they're microscopic, it forms a scratch pattern. It is really, really sharp. I mean, it's just freaking ripping hairs off. Look at that. I mean, it's just freaking just ripping them off of there. I'm having trouble finding the viewfinder on the camera. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's nice and barren right there. Let me see if the Tonto's sharp. Oh, man, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. In closing, I believe the knife, all in all, did really good. I believe that the sharpening went really well. It was super easy. It was just as easy as I thought it was going to be. Knives like the Sleesh Bowie and the Microtech Socom, I mean, there's knives that are this class that deserve to be used. And don't be afraid to use it just because you think you're going to break the freaking tip. Don't be afraid to use it because you think you're going to chip the edge. It's going to happen if you use your knives like a man and not like a little schoolgirl trying to cut Play-Doh. Then you're likely going to do some damage to your knives. It's not anything to be afraid of, and it's not anything to be surprised about when it happens. These things are not made out of some kind of crazy alien technology. They're steel. Steel chips, steel breaks, steel bends. It happens. It can be fixed. That's what this whole video was about. Don't forget to go watch BJ Hill, Hilltop Knives and Gear. He did a knife repair on cold steel Recon 1 Tonto. I talked about it last night when I was shooting some of these clips, and you guys saw how easy it was for me to fix this. It was just as easy for him to fix that. I think his might be S35 VN, maybe. I'm not 100%, but it's easy to fix them, guys. Go out and use your stuff. Don't be freaking scared to use your knives. And if you do break them and you're not the kind of dude that wants to fix them, I'll fix it for you. I have no problem with that. Send me your knife. I will sharpen it, and I'll be happy to do it. So that's it, guys and gals. I love you. I'm out.